What could also happen is that we just get a moonshot and you get completely left behind. So that here the 0.786 level has held as support. High over leveraged long positions are still above us. Bitcoin is in the final stages of the last move before we're going to see an explosion to the upside. I will show you exactly what you need to do right now to prepare yourself. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here once again. Let's directly jump into the DXY because the DXY is finally looking a little bit better. Of course for us, not for everyone, but at least for us, because we see here continuation to the downside, about to or already breaking 104 points. We want to see a continuation. This starts to look like a bearish engulfing here to the downside. Potentially the peak was created here from where we now finally start reversing completely back to the downside in direction of below 100 points. But of course we need a little bit more time to confirm that. But we are in the process of doing the first step here and breaking under 104 points. If we can close below that resistance line, now acting as support today and getting rejected from its support, then we get continuation to the downside. That should help us to get more relief on risk on assets, which will propel Bitcoin into higher prices. Regardless of that, Bitcoin bounced off the $67,300 area earlier over the last 24 hours here once again, multiple times, actually 3 times. It looks like that we are about to get continuation here to the upside, so that here the 0.786 level has held as support is a really good indication for further upwards pressure. Now on the higher time frames, when we go into the daily chart, also here the golden cross is coming up in the next 48 hours, guys. So it might be not the worst idea to get your money ready to get into a position here, because remember what I said, guys, once the golden cross is happening, usually Bitcoin has pumped already to whatever level. You don't want to miss out on this initial move. So if you want to play it really safe, you wait for the break of $68,400 that we get at least the 4-hourly close above that level. But look already at today's candle here, the wick that we have created here, the buying pressure that is in this candle from today. I would say it's rather fair to say already that it would be a good moment to enter right now and not wait for another $200-300 move. What could also happen is that we just get a moonshot and you get completely left behind, and that is something that we don't want. So I rather get you in now and set as a stop loss. Then here the previous candle's low, $66,500. That should be more than enough of a good stop loss here for that next upcoming trade setup. And I also going to show it to you here. If you would enter right now and you would take that stop loss, so that is a 2.3% stop loss against, if we go to all-time high, 8.66% profit. So that is definitely a good risk to reward ratio on a Bitcoin trade. So if you trade this with, let it be 15x, 30% stop loss against 126% profit. So that is definitely worth it. So I'm going to leave it exactly the way that it is here right now, and let's see how this is going to play out. But this is what I would do, because here by Saturday, Sunday we get the golden cross and either get then the pump this weekend or as late as Monday. But we need to, of course, to be careful with that because we're going to create a CME gap once that is happening. So I rather have to move on Sunday night than on Saturday, Sunday, and then we have a massive CME gap below us. Also here on this daily chart, you see what I meant yesterday, that we got here a really nice bounce of the green super trend from the MDX algo, and now getting the continuation that we were looking for. The main area to break, like I said, is $68,400, $68,700. Once we are above that, there is basically blue skies. There is, of course, some resistance up there, but I believe this time when we break above these levels, that this is the final move for Bitcoin to break through these resistance levels and not to look back for a long time. So here, this is what we are looking at, $68,400, $68,800. Once we are above that, there's nothing stopping us to go here back to $74,000 really quickly. Just in case, if you're looking for more money to trade with than you currently have, then sign up on Bybit, deposit $100 and claim your free $500 airdrop position on any of these coins mentioned here, guys. Any of these coins. It's really simple. You sign up with the link in the description or the pin comment below. Claim in the rewards hub the airdrop voucher after you deposited your initial $100. Claim the voucher and then you trade, and all the profits belong to you guys. Really simple. Go and do this right now. So and then here on the 4-hourly chart for Bitcoin. Also here, we are perfectly on track with everything what we talked about the last couple of days. Remember that I told you when we came here into the green phase of the MDX algo scalp gradient down here, that this marked potentially the reversal back to the upside. You see price purpling here now back to the upside, running into a hotter phase, followed by the hot phase again here, and that should bring us at least to $70,200 in my opinion before we see here any major retracement back to the downside, unless we struggle to break here for an extensive amount of time that resistance level that I just spoke about, and we consolidate sideways while we are running hot and are not getting that spike here to the upside. But I believe that is quite unlikely that this is going to happen with everybody anticipating a move into $70,000 and the euphoria that comes with it, and the buying pressure, of course, at the same time too. And also the reactor indicator is indicating that here momentum is definitely right now to the upside, especially when we are breaking above these resistance levels that we just talked about. So then also here from a liquidity perspective, when we're looking at the liquidation levels, high over leveraged long positions are still above us. We are also taking the mid leverage liquidity with us once we're tapping into $70,000. And don't forget, once we're tapping into this, that we are getting a short squeeze into higher levels. So you see here, once we are getting into $69,000, that is from where we are most likely going to trigger that short squeeze into 70,000, slightly above $70,000 here on the liquidation heat map, and then start a small retracement before we continue to eat into the higher price levels that are still above us. It is highly unlikely that we come back here to like $67,000 and below to take out that liquidity before we see a move here into higher prices. So there you have it, guys. That's what I'm looking at. So, and of course, I put my money where my mouth is. You see here that trade here on ZoomX is up $4,400 currently. I don't know if it's the same position that we were talking yesterday about or not, because I opened and closed now 3 times a position here in the last 48 hours. So I get a little bit lost, guys. So please forgive me for that. So, but this position currently that I opened, let me actually look. When did I open this order history? Okay, yesterday after the video is when I opened this at $67,775. It's now an $830,000 position here. Yeah, like I said, $4,600 in profit currently. And over the last 4 days, I made here roughly $13,000 on this account. So, and I want to run up this account here, hopefully into January, only in on Bitcoin into $500 to $1 million, so $500,000 to $1 million. Again, if you want to trade with me together on ZoomX, guys, and stand a chance to win twice per week $500, then sign up on ZoomX, deposit $100, open a trade once, even if it's for $1 and only for a second, it doesn't matter, you know, in, out, then use the link in the description below and the pinned comment below. There is so much more stuff coming with ZoomX, guys, you cannot imagine. I was on a call with them today to discuss further our partnership, and I have a big announcement coming once this is getting approved by ZoomX. So you definitely want to make sure that you have an account there and are trading with me there together on that platform. Oh, and now already $4,800. So use the link in the description and pinned comment below. Let's talk about altcoins, guys. Total free market cap spiked here a couple of days ago already into our resistance that we were talking about here at $650 billion. Got rejected from there as expected, but the next time that we come up, we are going to break this, because every single time that we are coming up here, we are creating higher lows, which is inherently bullish for us. And it squeezes the total free market cap here into that ascending triangle shape that should, in the worst case, break out around election day by the 4th or 5th of November here. And you know what's going to happen afterwards, guys. You know, so afterwards, moonshot. We are finally getting our moonshot here in direction of 700 billion and above, and that will of course lead to massive pumps in the altcoin market, where we see double digits across the board in most of our altcoins. So get ready for that. The USDT Dominance is also pulling back here today. That's exactly what we want to see here. Again, over the weekend, I would like to see a more continuation, that we finally break under that stupid 5.17% level and finally leave that behind us, getting the continuation into the levels below us, breaking below 5% and keeping that trajectory to the downside. When it comes to the Bitcoin dominance, there should be no surprise. I warned you about this, that when Bitcoin turns around, that we are going to break 59% and will start to move higher here in direction of 60%, especially when we're approaching now $70,000. It becomes more and more likely that we potentially even go all the way up to the resistance, this upward sloping resistance line here, before we are getting that pullback that we wait for. And this should look like something hitting a nerve, and the following day we get a straight candle to the downside where altcoins just go absolutely ballistic. So at least that's what I expect here to be happening when we are now getting closer to the 60% mark, or even going slightly above the 60% mark. When we're looking at Ethereum, is getting a bounce from the underlying big support cluster that also here was mentioned multiple times. Every time I told you guys, when we get into that support zone, it is a good moment to buy. So you should be, based on what I told you guys yesterday, now in a position slightly in profit here. We are about to try to reclaim the EMA ribbon here on a 12-hourly chart. So once that is concluded, that will immediately open us up to get continuation in direction of $2,800. And once we are above that level, nothing is stopping Ethereum to go here to $3,000 and above. The indicators are totally in alignment with that, with the MACD losing momentum on the sell side. Only the RSI is going a little bit sideways, and the stochastic is slightly picking up momentum here to the upside. So give it a couple more, let it be 2-3 days, guys. 2-3 days, and we should get here our moonshot scenario on Ethereum, potentially in one single candle, going here straight up to $2,700. Solana was really strong here over the last couple of days, not gonna lie. Also here, exactly what I mentioned to you guys, $180 was scratched at, and then we started to go down. And that's why I said it was not worth taking a position here for 2-3%, because we're now in that pullback stage. The RSI looks still a little bit bullish to me. The MACD, not so much anymore, and the stochastic also is not looking that bullish anymore. On the daily chart, similar situation. We to create here a sell signal on stochastic RSI pointing to the downside. Only MACD is still bullish here, more or less. But you see now why this area was so crucial and why we get rejected from there, as I mentioned it. And now the next underlying support would be 170 to 166 dollars approximately. So that would be the next area of interest for me, where I would start to build a position in this pullback into a new all-time high for Ethereum. I would not wait that we go any lower than that, because Ethereum here, so when we go back, if we gonna get it, $260 was the last all-time high on Solana. So once we are breaking $200, this might come sooner than anybody is expecting, and also surpassing it faster than anybody is expecting. So you don't want to be left behind and get your last chance to get to Solana below $180 and regret it later on if you didn't. So that's why I'm telling you. If you're looking for a platform, if you cannot use ZoomX or a Bybit, guys, I can only recommend to trade decentralized, where you are in full control of your funds here on AlphaX. Also here, you stand a chance now twice per week to win $500 by just depositing $100 on the platform. A link for that is also in the description and in the pin comment below. Take advantage of that. I will gonna pull the first winner by tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, $500 from AlphaX and $500 from ZoomX. So you have double chance tomorrow to win $500 if you have an account with $100 on ZoomX and open at least once a trade and deposited at least $100 on AlphaX by tomorrow. And yeah, win here potentially even $1,000. So take advantage of that, because it's really hard to get them to do that, to get money out of them for you guys. But I always give my best. Now, when we're talking about other altcoins like Uniswap is still above the 200 moving average. I still believe it's a good moment to enter here, even though the stochastic is not looking all too good and might roll over here a little bit. So a worst case scenario is that we will come back to like $7.80, so 3% down before we get then here that move to the upside, because that underlying or that current supply area is giving us a big headache here. Look, there's $150 million worth of sell pressure in that area here. See that here? And there's of course a lot of money that is holding us back to move here into higher prices. But that's why I'm also still saying, guys, and I still stand with that, once we're breaking through this area here, you're going to get a moonshot, because once this is eaten up, it will just snap, really, really quickly. And here the almost $8 million that are sitting up here is nothing compared to what's sitting below here. So this can spike in a couple of candles really quickly, even past $12 in my opinion, especially with the upcoming golden cross here into November. So here in the first week of November, we should get the golden cross. And at that point, you definitely want to be in because in the worst case, we're already above $10 once the golden cross is happening. Then Rune, here you see now why I wanted to wait for the break of the horizontal level here of that ascending triangle, because we did not break above it, confirmed. We just wicked above it and came back into that ascending triangle. Now we could see a retest of the EMA ribbon around $5.14. I don't believe that we will fall below the upward sloping trend line here. So if you're looking for opening a trade, you see now here when we came back into the ascending triangle, we are around a little bit lower than the entry level that I had given here on the second setup here. I still stand with that entry, but if you want to enter a little bit lower, you might get a chance, like I said here, at $5.14, which is another 1.5% to the downside. So otherwise, I would, if you're now here in the secondary position already, I would just add down here to that position, because overall on the lower time frames, we are bottoming out here again. So this might turn around really quickly and continue its trajectory to the upside. Then the other one is Doge. Doge also here still stand with current levels are good to enter. We are forming here a bullish pennant or a bull flag, however you want to call that. So here, pennant, or if I draw it like this, a small bullish pennant here, something like this. If I go into a lower time frame, let's actually go into a 4-hourly chart to get a better understanding what we have here. Yeah, so you have here a bullish pennant, falling wedge, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. So if we treat this as a bull flag, then this would be your bull flag. And you see a target 16 cents 0.5 to the upside on that specific setup. Would it be wrong to enter right now? No, I don't really think so, because the stochastic is in a particular shape here where this can just turn around and snap to the upside, because here on the 4-hourly time frame, we are already starting to turn around. So you need to look at things like this when you are trading, what lower time frames are doing to get the potentially best entry for your position. Even on swing positions, I like to do that to get a good entry, because here also the golden cross is coming up in the next couple of days, and we might be way higher than what we are currently seeing here on Doge. So take advantage of that. Then the next one is ICP. ICP tried to break here also above that resistance of $8.41. For now, we got rejected here on a 12-hourly chart, but the 1-hourly chart might be turning around here in the next 3 hours. And we are really holding strong above $8.20, which might be an indication that the bulls, the ICP bulls, want to now turn this around and push this over the line to get continuation here into $9 and above. Because also here, what we are seeing is low, only higher lows afterwards. So the next higher low is actually above $8.40 in my opinion, and that might happen in the next couple of days. So I'm still in my position. I'm more or less break even on that position currently, but I'm still holding that regardless what the stochastic is saying, regardless what the RSI is saying, because the here on the lower time frames, on the 1 hourly, 30 minutes, and so on, it looks like that we are getting this push here over the line pretty soon, and only then I will pay a little bit more attention what these indicators are telling me. Remember what I said yesterday, price action succeeds always indicators, and that's why I use indicators only as basically an assistance tool to determine what I want to do, but never base my whole trading just on indicators. Then Phantom also looks ready to get a nice push here to the upside. Also here we have a big resistance cluster just sitting above current price here. Here is in total almost $80 million above us. That's a lot for Phantom. But here when you look at the indicators, the stochastic is flatlining at the bottom, is heavily oversold. The RSI is in a neutral position, but the MACD also losing momentum on the sell side. So here I'm also expecting a quick turnaround in the next 48 hours, also potentially with a spike here in direction of 80 cents with continuation into 90 cents potentially in the next couple over the weekend basically, you know. So also here, if you're looking to enter a position, you might get in a little bit lower, let it be 66 cents, but I don't think that we get any lower than that and then turn around and go here to the upside. And that's it for today's video already, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you later with Diddy if you follow my Instagram, and with more money tomorrow.